we live in a very superficial era, and people judge things on the most face values without any meaning or substance. And often when it comes to dating, that is a major issue. I cannot tell you how many young men won't go out with a woman, not attractive enough, not this enough. A woman won't go out with a guy because not this. And so many times what might very well be a good shidduch, the right shidduch, is passed up because people have their pet peeves, their inventory of issues, and their things that they're not going to allow in and they're not going to settle on. Now, that being said, not only does this happen before the date, it happens on the date, after the first date or the second date. It was going well, but I didn't like this, I didn't like that, I didn't like this, I didn't like that, and he or she, sometimes both, say no. And I want to focus on this point. When do you say no? So to be able to say no is not so simple. You see, a no has to be a no. A no has to be, I could say with definitiveness that this is not the right person for me. Now, to be able to say that, you have to give it enough time, and you have to be open-minded enough, and you have to be really involved with the person enough to be able to say, I know that this one isn't right. How do I know? I don't enjoy the company. It's not fun to be with. I'm not looking forward to the dates. It drags. When I ask people the questions, did you enjoy the date? Did you have a good time? What I'm looking for is that key issue. What I'm looking for is, there's a sort of natural sort of sense. If it's the right one, it's fun, it's enjoyable, the time sort of flies. Even if there's quiet time, it's comfortable because there's just a natural sort of sense that it's the right one. The minute a young man or young woman says to me, I don't know, I was bored, I don't know, it got boring, I'm already saying, that's not such a good sign. One of the worst signs is when I ask the person, tell me, if you had a choice, going out with him tonight or going out with your girlfriends, which would you choose? And she says, I'd much rather go with my girlfriends. That's a very bad sign. Why? Because again, that's an indication that it's really not right. It's not the right one. You should enjoy his company. It should be fun to be with him. You should look forward to the date. And if it's starting to drag and the dates are boring and you're not looking forward, so you're getting close to a no. But a no is a very definitive decision. A no has to be, it's not the right one. How do I know? It's just not fun. I don't enjoy. I don't look forward. It's not going. I don't hate him, chas v'shalom. Not saying he terrible things wrong with him. I don't enjoy being with him. It just doesn't seem to go. It's not. I don't know. It's not for me. Great guy, but not for me. But you see, that no requires time. A yes doesn't take much. You see, a yes is I'm not really sure. You see, if I don't know for sure, listen. The first date went all right. Second date went Third date went sort of not so good. At that point, I don't really know. Now, if I really have a sense of, I'd much rather go with my girlfriends out tonight instead of being with that guy, or I really I don't even want to get dressed for this date, that's already getting very close to a no. But again, a no has to be a no. And if you're not sure, you're a lot safer and a lot better off saying yes. You see, a yes doesn't have to be a yes. A yes doesn't mean I'm marrying this guy. And a yes doesn't mean, yes, it's absolutely the best one, the right one. It's the one Hashem wanted of me. A yes often means I'm not sure. A no is a very definitive knowledge. I know for a fact that this is not the right one, and that requires a lot of clarity. If you're not sure, a yes is the appropriate response. Why? Because you really don't know. And if you really don't know, it might well be the right one. And many, many times, date 1 and 2 didn't go so well. Date 3 got a little better. Date 4, something changed. And by 5 and 6, all of a sudden, whoa. And it's a very different world. And you have to be honest. You have to be fair. And you have to allow yourself the time that it often takes for things to develop. And in fact, to say no requires a tremendous clarity and a real knowledge that it's no. Now, oftentimes, young women, more than men, are reluctant to say yes because 60%, 70, maybe 80% sure that it's not right, but I'm not 100% sure, but I don't want to hurt his feelings. Meaning, I'm not 100% sure, but if I say yes to him, I'm going to string him along and I'm going to hurt his feelings. If you're not 100% sure that it's a no, you go out another time. His stringing him along, hurting his feelings, I'd like to share with you, you're dealing with something that's way too important way too significant to you and to him both to deal with that little issue. That's part of the game. It is true. There are times when dates go longer than they should. They go to a fourth date, a fifth date, and maybe it didn't look so good after the first date. But unless you know for certain, you have to go through the steps. Believe me, he'll be mochel you if he is the right one, and then you march together to the chuppah. But more than that, that's the right way to proceed. If to say a no requires a definitiveness, that requires a real no. If you're not sure, if you're 60%, 70%, you go out another time and you see. Now, if it doesn't change, and in fact you feel more reluctant, you'd rather go to sleep than go out with him, and you'd much rather not be there, assuming that you've given it a fair chance, and assuming that you really were, you put forth your best, he put forth his best, and you really spent enough time, then very likely it's a no. But again, you have to really know it for certain. If you're not sure, you don't say no, you say yes, and you try again, another date. And again, many a time I've been involved in situations where I would say, okay, another 2-3 dates, and then we ask the question. But this is the point. During the next 2 or 3 dates, all I want you to do is just be yourself, relax. Don't ask yourself, is this the right one? Don't ask yourself what you're thinking. Just go out, just be yourself, and after 2 or 3 dates, then we're going to ask again the question. If after those 2 or 3 dates is a real sense of, I just don't enjoy it. It's not, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Okay, you gave enough time and it's a no, but oftentimes things change. A no has to be a no. When you're not sure, you say yes and you see if in fact this is the right one or not.